As requested, this video will talk about the Frazer prophecy as it pertains to Brianna and Rob Cameron in season 7 of Outlander. Obviously, this will have spoilers, so if you are looking to avoid them from the show or the books, please do keep on scrolling. Alright, so book readers know that a large reason for Rob Cameron's fascination and interest in Brianna is because he's a nutty conspiracy theorist who finds out that she is a direct descendant of Simon Frazer. The way that Brianna is able to find this out is through her father's old books that Roger had ordered and had sent to Lallybroch, and one night she goes in through them and finds a draft of a letter that Frank had written for Bree. This letter didn't have a date on it, so we don't know exactly when Frank wrote it for her, but in it he starts to explain to her that she is likely going to get caught up if she's not careful with a bunch of conspiracy theorists who will find out about her lineage. In the letter, Frank says to Bree that he doesn't know when or if she will ever find out who her true parentage is and the significance of that, and he feels odd even writing to her about it. But regardless of how she comes to find this information, he's hopeful that him writing her this letter will help to save her life. When Frank gets to the part of the letter where he's going to reveal what Brianna is, she actually has an encounter with Rob Cameron, who has broken into her house at this point. We get to read the second half of the letter written in my own heart's blood, so I'll put some snippets up about that here, where Frank explains to Bree what he knows of the Frazer prophecy. And he mentions a name of a man named Frazer. I could very easily be butchering that name, who had many different conspiracy theories, one of which was the Frazer prophecy. And while I wish there was a little bit more context, Frank basically tells her that the basis of the prophecy is that the last of Lord Lovett's line will rule Scotland one day, and as a refresher, Lord Lovett is the old fox that Jamie and Claire meet in season 2, who is related to Jamie, obviously, and therefore that makes Bree the last living person from his line. The cool part is that Frank is writing this letter also informing Bree that he researched all of this with the help of Roger's father, Reverend Wakefield. And Frank also says that he knew a Simon Lovett in the war that he fought who was in the commandos. And I'll put the little diagram from the book as well, but Frank eventually gets to the point that the line died very early on, but then carried on through Brian Frazer, who is not a legitimate son. He's an illegitimate son. But because of Brian, and then obviously Jamie, and now obviously Bree, the line did carry on, even though technically it did not. But the craziest line of this letter from Frank to me is the very end, when he tells Brianna that if she is not safe in her time, to go back in time to Jamie.